Greenwood County, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here today to the grand opening of Grace Street Park. And I'm really excited that you're having trouble paying attention because there's so much activity going on around us. This is exactly what we wanted, and I think this was the vision that was put forth before this park was built. And this space is a representation of what happens when vision, collaboration, and community come together, and you're going to hear about that today. This is a place where families can gather and play and stay active right here in the heart of Greenwood, and we're excited to welcome you here today. And we're going to open up with an invocation. Reverend Annette Edwards, our Ward 3 City Councilwoman.
Let us pray. We give thanks for this new park, a gift of green space for our community to enjoy. We pray for those who will use it. May it be a place of joyful place, peaceful rest and connection with one another and with the beauty of nature. Bless this park that it may be a sanctuary for all who visit. May children laugh and play here. May family gather, and may everyone find a moment of peace and refreshment. May this space foster friendship, creativity, and a deeper appreciation for the world around us. We thank all who have worked to make this park a reality. May their efforts be a source of lasting pride and testament to their care for this community. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Edwards. Next, we're going to hear from Greenwood County Council Chairman Theo Lane.
Thank you, Abby. Appreciate all of y'all being here today. I'm Theo Lane, Chairman of Greenwood County Council, and if any of you know me at all, you know that I love to talk about the Capital Project Sales Tax Initiative. Love it, love it, love it. And I know that we're no longer in daylight savings time and it's going to get dark early, so I'll try to hold this for about 2 hours. So no surprise that that's going to be the focus of my comments here today. You've probably heard me in the past mention that one of my favorite statistics involving the CPST that's provided this beautiful park now for us from our 16 initiative is that in 2016, the State Department of Commerce estimated for us that about 30% of the funds that would be raised in that initiative would be paid for us by other people. And by that I mean people coming in and out of Greenwood County, people visiting here and the like. Well, I would submit to you that what we did after 16 is the reason that in the 24 referendum, they now tell us that will be 40% going forward. So I want you to think about that for just one moment. Based on our most recent receipts, we believe that the 2024 CPST will return about $120 million to Greenwood County over the term of the 7 years. Think about that for a minute, folks. That's a $48 million freebie is what I call it, a bonus. Money provided for us to grow and develop our community that will be paid for by people not within Greenwood County. So for this investment, paid by those people who shop here, who eat here, who visit here, who come to our amenities to play here, that means that that 1 cent sales tax creates a better tomorrow without putting the burden of that on our residents. It's a smart, strategic way to fund things, and it's working, and you see evidence of that right here. Today, we're going to celebrate one of those best examples, Grace Street Park. The park is exactly what the CPST was designed to do, to improve quality of life, to strengthen our community, and invest in projects that make Greenwood a better place to live and play, and a better place for people to come to visit. So those who follow me today are going to talk about these incredible features that have been put here, the playground, the pump track, the courts, the skating features, and everyone deserves great credit for the planning and vision that came into this. Billy, the Parks and Trails Commission, you guys, the city certainly did a tremendous job in this planning, a wonderful job. But I want to take just a moment to talk about why this really matters. Why do parks matter? And why are they a part of the CPST? I had people in 2016, back when I was advocacy chairman, argue with me and say, well, Theo, I don't know if I'm going to vote for it because I think it should only be for infrastructure. And I really disagree with that. And I'm going to tell you why I do. Projects like Gray Street Park attract new families because they contribute to quality of life. They attract new businesses, new industry. They make people want to come to our county. You don't want to come to a county that's stale. You don't want to come to a county that doesn't have a great quality of life. And I believe that as a rural county, we have one of the best qualities of life in the state of South Carolina. I would tell you that when I travel around the state and I look at the communities that are thriving, that have robust economies and are growing, I will tell you that when I look back, what I primarily see is that those counties initiated capital project sales tax initiatives in their terms. So the parks keep our children active, they create places that we can gather, and they offer opportunities for recreation and wellness, and that also strengthens our community. And the CPST allows us to do without mortgaging the futures of our children and grandchildren. CPSTs build, they don't borrow. They let us say again, I want to say that again, they build, not borrow. We aren't leaving generations with any kind of legacy of debt. We're leaving a legacy of wise, strategic investments in ourselves and our community. And I always take the opportunity to say thank you to every voter, because in the 16 and 24 initiatives, those referendums, it was basically a 2-to-1 voter mandate that we do this. So it really speaks to the fact that our people understand what we're trying to accomplish. So from public safety features, infrastructure, workplace, economic development, and even parks like this, the CPST is delivering time and time again. And thanks to the support of our residents, it'll continue to do so. The CPST doesn't exist without those voters, so anytime you talk to somebody that you know goes to polls, tell them thank you. So to those voters, our partners with the city, our staff, to the commissioners, and the, what am I trying to say? The committee members that gave of their time and effort to serve on the CPST, in the CPST process, and every resident who supported, a heartfelt thank you. This park is a testament to what happens when a community invests in itself and believes in progress. So again, a heartfelt thank you. I'm very excited about where we are in Greenwood County. I'm even more excited about where I believe we're going. Because as I always like to say, and you see it right here in Gray Street Park, I believe that once again today, Greenwood grows greater. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. And now we'll hear from Billy Nicholson, President of the Parks and Trails Foundation.
Thank you. What a great day to open a park. I mean, we couldn't ask for better weather than this. Good afternoon. I'm Billy Nicholson. I'm president of the it's really Greater Greenwood Parks and Trails Foundation, Inc. That's a long name. We call it the Parks Foundation. And when people ask me what the Parks Foundation is all about, I say, the best way to say it is it's a very small, dedicated group of people that have been together now for about almost 35 years. About 35 years. It started with the Chamber of Commerce, became a commission within the county government. We became a foundation because we needed people to donate money, and we couldn't do that unless we had the nonprofit foundation. So, been around a long time. This is a no employees, completely volunteer foundation, but we have done a lot. We've created 6 parks in Greenwood County and 12 miles of trails. And this includes Magnolia Park was the first one, Magnolia Park, Heritage Trail, West Cambridge Park, Phase 1 of Gray Street, among other trails and parks. I would like to ask right now if I know we have some board members here, any present board members of the Parks Foundation or past board members, would you please raise your hand or stand up if you can? Raise an hand. All right, let's give them a round of applause. And I've got to tell you one thing. When I say board member, this is not showing up once a month and going to a table and having a meeting and talking about what you could do. These are people who work. These are people who cut trees, cut grass, pick up dog poop, replace toilet paper in the bathrooms. This is what we've done for, 25 years until recently when the city and county have now taken over some maintenance responsibilities. And we're very happy about that. We love the cooperation we now have with the city and county, and we appreciate that. But these are board members who have worked very hard, if you know anything about it. And I'm going to point out someone in particular, Klaus Nudner. Klaus, can you stand up? Now, Klaus has been there. Klaus has been there pretty much the whole 35 years. And Klaus is 95 years old. And we had a work day Saturday before last. Klaus was up there by himself painting a piece of equipment. And he is the hardest worker I've known. He was our maintenance supervisor really for all these parks, and we were doing all the maintenance at that time. So he's done that for a long, long time. I also like to recognize Bill Moore, who has been our secretary for a long time. Bill was moved to Greenville, but he still comes down and works and does the duty as our secretary. So we really appreciate that. I can say, first thing I'd like to say is Grace Street Park would not be here if not for the Parks Foundation. It would not be here. I can promise you that. Let me give you a little bit of history of this land. This whole land, including across this road, across that road, up where the schools are, was owned by a woman named Miss Belle Yo. Very eccentric woman who lived on top of the hill up here. My dad used to tell me they'd go up there and try to, mess around with her, and she had skeletons and all kinds of, skulls of animals and all kinds of things, and she would chase them with a sword. All this is in history books. But anyway, she owned that. She also owned this land right here. And back in the 1890s, this movement was started. The city of Greenwood wanted the property, went through a lot of court battles. They ended up getting the property. They got it really for one reason back then, and that's because there was a well, an artesian well, kind of where the Grace Park sign is, right pretty much where the volleyball court is. There's an artesian well that the city said they needed for a water source, and it became the water source for the whole city of Greenwood for many, many years. All the water came from this site. So it became city property, and once the city had the installation to do the water service, I think people said, well, this would be a great place for a park. So they created a lily pond. There were ponds, planted trees, had an area where people gathered here. Some of the other things you may not know about it, they organized it as a park. It was called Oak Hill Park. And there was a big sign here with gigantic stones that said Oak Hill Park. Interesting thing is, if you ever go out to Park C, you see their sign? They got the park, it's the stone signs. That came from this park. I think William John came out and, once it was no longer a park, he came out and got the PARK, and he said, I can use these out of Park C. So that used to be part of the sign for this park. It was Oak Hill Park. And I read that they even had a zoo here, that I think people would trap wild animals, put them in cages, which may not be the correct thing to do these days, but they had they kind of had a makeshift zoo around here. You may not know that this is the site of the first airport in Greenwood. Up on the flat land on top was the first airport in Greenwood. It also was a golf course, nine-hole municipal golf course. I've heard that the pro shop was back across the road right here, but it was a golf course. In the 1950s, it became necessary for a water source, and because the city already had this property, then water was pulled in from the Saluda River from Lake Greenwood, and they were created two big ponds up there, and that's why we have that one pond up there. And that was used for many years as the water source for Greenwood, and then Greenwood outgrew that about 1980, and the water plant became dormant. So it lay kind of in disuse for several decades. And so then we moved to the 1990s. And that is when the Parks Foundation got involved with this. And we said, these members were looking at it, and this is before my time, but they said, well, this would be a great regional park. I mean, when do you ever find 60 acres of beautiful wooded land in the middle of a city? I mean, think about it. Central Park, somebody in New York had to think of way ahead of time to have Central Park in New York City. But we had these 60 acres right in the middle of town, which is just amazing. So the Parks Foundation fought for a long time, all the way from, roughly year 2000 to 2010, this movement went on to try to get this to be a park but there was a threat of commercial development through all this process. And the Parks Foundation is the group that made it be a park and not be a Walmart or a Target. You may want a Target, but it didn't need to be here. So let me, in 1990s, if any of you remember, I went to Northside Junior High School, so I remember kind of what it looked like before it was in disuse. But after that, if you drove by up on Laurel or on Marywood, you didn't even know there was a hole, like a lake up there or a pond. You couldn't see through the pine trees. It was completely overgrown. It was kudzu, wisteria. There was an ugly chain link fence around the pond up there. So it was in pretty bad shape. And what the Parks Foundation finally got together with CPW, and I have to commend CPW and I commend the city of Greenwood. They said, at that point, they said, well, we don't want to have much to do with it, but if y'all want to make a go at it, you can try. And they gave us a lease. And the lease says, you have to maintain it. If you do something there, you've got to maintain it. The Parks Foundation has to maintain it. So in 2011, we entered into that lease with the city of Greenwood. The property was given by CPW, and we appreciate that. A lot has changed since 2011. There's a lot done between 2011 and today's date. I mean, it's 15 years. The Parks Foundation raised money to do phase one. When I say phase one, I mean the upper part of this property where the lake is, dog park. Some people used to call this property just the dog park. People say, where are you going? I'm going to the dog park. I said, well, it's more than a dog park. It's not just a dog park. But we raised the money to create what was up there. And we raised the money from major donors: Fujifilm, Self Family Foundation, County Bank, Duke Energy, the Realtors Association, Rotary Club, what was the dog food plant, the name of it back then. And then in addition to that, we had numerous contractors who donated their time. I mean, they'd come out here on the weekends with bulldozers and work for us without charging us any money. And probably, we estimate 10,000 hours of people just coming here and working and cutting things down. A lot was done. We had to restore the pond up there because that's not a natural pond. There's no creek flowing into that pond. So we had to redesign the rainwater to get in there to try to fill it up. We do have a pipe from down here in a well that goes up there that we can fill it up if we need to. But the pond was created, the dog park, Fujifilm Pavilion. There's a natural playground up there, restrooms. We restored the pier on in the pond. We bought a fountain. We have the fountain that was up there. And with volunteers, we created a 2.3 mile mountain biking trail that goes through the woods here. So move forward, 2016, penny sales tax. I couldn't agree with Theo anymore about the success of this community with the penny sales tax. I know it's CPST and all that, I call it penny sales tax. A lot of communities haven't had this kind of success with it. I noticed it was voted down, I think, in Anderson last night or yesterday. I think the reason for the success is because we put quality of life issues into the penny sales tax, and I think that's why we've had a success. It isn't just sewer lines, it isn't just roads. It is quality of life issues, which I think have made it a success. And the Parks Foundation was very instrumental in obtaining $5.5 million for 6 parks, improvements to some parks, but 6 parks and 3 trails. We went around, we did the planning for that. We proposed, made the proposition to do that and get that amount of money. And we were successful, obviously we were successful in doing that. Let me tell you this, phase 2, we call this phase 2. Phase 2 is not the end of the journey. We have almost 60 acres here. We hadn't even used half of it. So we can do a lot more with what's here. I'm very excited about that. But today, I join with the City of Greenwood, the County of Greenwood, CPW, Sossaman Construction, Davis and Floyd, people who have dedicated money and time. There are numerous people, so many I can't mention it. Companies who have made donations, construction companies who have given us free services, and the voters who said yes, all to celebrate the great achievement in creating this park. So thank you for coming today. Most importantly, come back and have fun.
Thank you, Billy. And Billy didn't add, these are pictures from the park, original pictures from what the park was still looking like. So if you have a chance afterwards to make sure you stop by and look at those. Next, we're going to have Matt Sossaman, Vice President of Sossaman Construction.
Thank you, Abby. I just want to say thank you guys for being here and helping us open up this park. I know that this is a very meaningful park. It's already having an impact. Just walking up here, I heard a little girl say to her mom, "This place is awesome," and she took off to the playground. So it's nice to know that immediately we're having an impact on the community. I would just like to recognize some of the people that we work with to help us get here. From the city, Julie Wilkie, she's been a leader in this part with us, helping us stay on task, working through everything. So she's definitely been a great part of this project to help it come together. Billy Nicholson was involved very, very early on with the planning. We looked at a lot of different scenarios of where to put, what elements to put in the park, where they go. So there was a lot of consideration, a lot of thought that put into that, and a lot of good work to make sure that we get it right. A couple of guys with Sossaman Construction that was dedicated and stayed committed every day out here. Nick Mabry, project manager, is here with us. I thank you, Nick, for your hard work. Caleb Wade was the superintendent, our what we call boots on the ground. He's helped manage the daily activities with all the construction. And all of our subcontractors, we couldn't do the work without a good subcontract team. So some local contractors, but everybody working together to pull this together and work efficiently. Our design group, Davis and Floyd, thank you guys. It's always a pleasure to work with you on projects like this. So we appreciate the relationship. This was a design-build project. Our first time with City of Greenwood doing that. Design-build allows us to get to sit down more often and early with the owner and to trade feedback or listen carefully and work through all the different situations and scenarios. So we appreciate you guys being open to the design-build process. We've enjoyed working with Julie and the city staff on that process. And I just want to overall say thank you. I mean, I feel like this is certainly, we're passionate about working and building projects for communities, being able to just look around and see the children, know that this is a safe place. This is a place where families can come, little children can come, older experienced people can come and enjoy it, get out and be active, be around nature. So it's just an awesome, as a contractor, being part of projects that you know have a good impact on the community. We just really appreciate it. Thank you for your confidence and trust in Sossaman. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Up next, we're going to hear from Ward 5 City Councilman Matthew Miller.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's certainly a great day, and I can't help but smile and feel just a great sense of pride as we, listen to everybody enjoy this park as we're here celebrating its opening. So I'm going to add a little bit to Billy's history, but personal. So growing up here in Greenwood my entire life, I just remember riding down Cokesbury and Grace every single day, and my dad just looking at this spot and saying, there should be a park there, there should be a park there. And of course, as a kid, I was just like, yeah, Dad, whatever. I just didn't think of anything. And so, as I grew up and, got a little wiser, got more involved in the community, in then City Council eventually, I can see what he meant every day. As I have come into this role, and I really understand the value and importance of parks, whether passive or active, and how extremely important they are for our quality of life. Of course, as has been mentioned a couple times, this is 100% on the city and county residents in Greenwood. We put a vision out there, right before I started on city council, so I can't say that it was originally my vision, but I think it's really important to note that they saw that vision and believed in it and continue to believe in it as we were able to pass that capital project sales tax again last year. Thank you to all the residents, to city county leaders, Parks Foundation, and other community partners that have made this such a success. I really can't wait for Phase 3 when that happens, and I really hope everybody can get out and enjoy this gem in our community. Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you, Matthew. And last but not least, City of Greenwood Mayor Brandon Smith.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to start by not speaking. I want us to kind of take in the sounds that you hear around here for just a moment. This is what this park is all about. Kids having fun, skateboarders. I mean, just we can't guarantee every single day is going to be as beautiful as this day, but we sure are lucky and just so grateful to have so many folks out here. But what an exciting day it is as we officially open Grace Street Park, which is a vibrant space, repurposed from the site of a beloved, but as Billy mentioned, decaying water treatment facility. This space for our community to play, move, and connect is fitting. As I understand, I was prepared to give a little history of this site, but Billy, you did way more than I could have done. I learned a lot from listening to Billy. I knew that there was a golf course here at some point, but I sure appreciate the history. So I think it's fitting to know that there was a park here, there was recreational activities here at one point, and we've come full circle. From the pickleball courts, to the volleyball court, to the skateboard area, the pump track, and the walking path that links to Phase 1 of the park and the dog park. This space truly has something for everyone, no matter age, interest, or level of athletic skill. So Grace Street Park, along with our other city parks, Foundry Park, Magnolia Park, and West Cambridge Park, represent what happens when our community comes together with a shared vision for the future. In that regard, I joined with Councilman Lane and Councilman Miller and Billy Nicholson, and we want to thank the voters of Greenwood County whose support of the capital project sales tax has made this investment in our city future a reality. Because of those voters' trust and votes, projects like this park help shape a stronger, healthier, and more connected Greenwood for generations to come. Of course, we're grateful to our county leaders for their collaboration and vision in making this referendum project possible. I want to thank this dangerous-looking group over here, the Parks and Trails Foundation, that's done so much to push this idea from the very beginning. They've been at it so long. I think Klaus was a teenager when they first started this project. We continue to be enthusiastic about the role parks play for the quality of life for our residents and visitors and for the betterment and pride of our community. We're proud that Grace Street Park is more than just a recreation area. It's a symbol of progress, partnership, and pride that makes Greenwood such a special place to live. So today, as we prepare to cut the ribbon and take these first serves and rides and walks around our paths, let's celebrate what we've built together. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your continued support, and congratulations to Greenwood. Gray Street Park is about to be officially open.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. Before we get to the very best part of this ribbon cutting, I just want to add another thank you to our residents for their support of the capital project sales tax. I don't see him here. Josh Skinner is our capital project sales tax coordinator, and we can't have an event or open something from the capital project sales tax and not recognize all the work that Josh is doing. We thank our CPST commissioners, our CPST committees for the work they did. Trent C. Williams and the Chamber of Commerce, thank you for your support for the capital project sales tax and making sure all of our residents knew what they were voting for. So we thank you for that. So now we are going to adjourn right over here behind us in front of the playground. We're going to ask our city council members, our county council members, our Parks and Trails Foundation members, if you would like to be in the ribbon cutting picture, and anyone from CPW if they have someone here to join us over here, and we will officially cut the